Tonight on News 5 Live, Cabinet concludes a two-day retreat discussing the priorities of the Bersenio administration in 2023. The opposition weighs in on the purported video that is circulating involving a former ranking officer. And what is government doing to address the crushing inflation affecting all Belizeans? These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint is one of the most reputable paints in the industry, known for its superior quality, durability, and environmentally friendly technology. We carry a large variety of products for all your home and commercial needs, such as interior and exterior paints, primers, wood stains, sealers, clear top coats, caulking, aerosols, concrete, and masonry products. Achieve professional-looking results with ease using Sherwin-Williams paint and coating. Available at Design Depot, all in one place.
Join us for an engaging and inspiring service from Sagebrush Church that the whole family will love. Each week, you will have the opportunity to take part in amazing worship and learn how you can make your personal relationship with God a priority. Watch us on TV, stream us online, or visit us in person at one of our 8 physical locations. Go to sagebrush.church or download the Sagebrush app to find locations and times to watch.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, January 18th. I am Sabrina Daly. The Briceño administration has concluded a two-day retreat during which Cabinet discussed several priority areas, including the country's economic performance, inflation, as well as crime and violence. It is the second meeting of its kind where senior government officials gather to plan the year ahead. Late this evening, News 5 spoke by phone with Prime Minister John Briceño, who touched briefly on the issues that were addressed during the plenary sessions.
As a government, as a cabinet, decided that we need to take some time out of the office and that we can concentrate in looking at the accomplishments and the challenges and what's supposed to be our priorities for the new financial year. We did it last year and we did it today. And I think that by any measures you would take, that the People's United Government has been quite successful, much more successful than anybody would have thought, considering the challenge that we were facing from reducing unemployment to a record low of 5%, growing the economy 12.5%, 2021, 2022 seems to be going to be between 8 and 12%. We've managed to reduce our national debt by over $1 billion. We have record investments in agriculture, in housing, in tourism. We can say that as a government, we have regained the confidence of the Belizean people and investment community. We've even, despite the fact that we ended the year with some gruesome murders, in Bamopan and in San Pedro, there was quick response from the police, and it seems that we caught the alleged perpetrators in both cases. But even the police, we have seen that the numbers have decreased to its lowest levels of murders probably since 2012. So we have to admit, that we had these successes, but challenges continues, and it's important for us to be able to discuss as a group, make presentations to the group, and then from there trying to come up with what would be the priorities for the new fiscal year.
Higher prices on goods and services continue to be an issue that affects the pockets of all Belizeans. Notwithstanding solid fiscal performance, crushing inflation remains a sore point for many. While it was brought up during the cabinet retreat, what is the Briceño administration planning to do about this crisis in the months ahead? That's what we asked the Prime Minister following the round of meetings.
And it is something that's very concerning to us as a government. But we need to appreciate or understand that we import most of our inflation because a lot of what we consume, it is imported. But because we are pegged to the US dollar and the US has one of the lowest levels of inflation in the region, our inflation is not as high as in the rest of Central America. And so that we are going to end up with a little under 7% rate of inflation of, I think, about 6.9%. Now, 6.9% is still too high, way too high. And we are trying to find ways on how we can minimize that effect. For one, we have increased the minimum wage to $5, which is another major accomplishment that we promised under Plan Belize. We were looking at the taxes, whilst most of our food products pay very little tax, so there's not much that we can do there. We have been reducing the tax on fuel so that we can try to hold it down to $13. No? So we are doing everything that we can. We're still getting a lot of a number of reports where people believe that there's price gouging, and that's a bit, I think that's the frustration that I don't think we've managed to come up with a proper plan of action and how we can address the issue of price gouging where it exists.
This afternoon, the leader of the opposition also weighed in on the issue of inflation and the fact that basic commodities have increased in price considerably. According to Shine Barrow, little has been done by government to meaningfully respond to inflation, which has negatively affected the quality of life for all Belizeans.
It's criminal, and the government is not doing enough to respond adequately to this inflation problem that is persisting. And also the Minister of Agriculture, I think, again, he does well in promoting these flashpoint activities, these photo ops. But what are we doing to ensure that all Belizeans can feed themselves? Farming is now, not the future. So I'd love to see the Minister of Agriculture get into all cities, towns, and villages and get more people to feed themselves. So you don't have to go to the store and buy these ridiculously priced items. But until then, the government, the state, has a responsibility to respond to the most vulnerable. Maybe someone like me, I could suffer it, but that is not the majority of society. It really isn't. The majority of society are hardworking people, laboring class, just trying to ensure that they have a basic good quality of life, and this is eroding our quality of life.
Coming up, a Thursday night vigil in Belmopan for victims of triple homicide. Find out the details when we come back.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Are you ready to find out if you're one of the 100 lucky winners of BEL Customer Rewards? Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we will be announcing the winners each day from Tuesday, January 17th to Friday, January 20 at 10 a.m. We're excited to reward 100 customers countrywide with appliances from Benny's and Brody's, fuel cards from Sol, vouchers from Caribbean Chicken, plus grocery vouchers. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Look out to see if you won.
You could still come over though. You could watch a movie or something.
Oh my god, I can't believe this happened.
Under the bed or in the closet? Which one?
I got 3 boys. I need them to be better men than me. I mean, better men than we.
Please don't go wind up.
Who has stopped me? Hello? Hello? Who has stopped me? Which one?
For We Family Season 2 begins January 26 at 8 p.m. on Channel 5 and on News 5 Live's Facebook page. Brought to you by the National Commission for Families and Children in collaboration with the National Parenting Task Force and UNICEF.
You have been a safe driver all your life when an unavoidable accident happens. But this does not mean that your insurance premium must increase. With RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, safe drivers will not lose their no-claims discounts because of those minor, unavoidable accidents. For more information on RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, contact us at 223-5734. When it comes to motor insurance, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there were not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in CARIFORUM, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Former Deputy Commissioner of Police Marco Vidal is one of 3 persons who entered an establishment in Belmopan over the weekend. Not far from where brothers David and John Ramnareis, as well as Vivian Bilal Ramnareis, were gunned down in the Mayamopan area on New Year's Eve. But what was his purpose for showing up at the location? Was he there to make a purchase, or was his presence, along with the 2 other unnamed individuals, an act of intimidation? That's what police are investigating following the release of surveillance footage that shows the 3 men entering the premises. According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, the owner of the store is not cooperating with authorities and has not filed a formal complaint with the Belize Police Department, and investigators cannot ascertain what was discussed with Vidal. This afternoon, opposition leader Shine Barrow spoke with the media and raises concerns about Vidal's presence at that location on Saturday afternoon.
I am frightened to think of the gall from the former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Marco Vidal, who is the accused triple murderer's uncle, who I have mentioned in many of the interviews I've done regarding this matter. It is astonishing, the pattern that we see here. A disgusting pattern where the former Deputy Commissioner of Police, Marco Vidal, is always involved in these alleged crimes relating to his nephew. If you go back to Farid Ahmad, Mr. Nas' alibi is that what? He was with his uncle. Then, I'm not sure if he was the head of the SAT, which is the group that is alleged to have executed Mr. Ahmad. You go to the drug plane landing. It was reported by the media that it was, again, the former, I don't know if this was before he retired or after, that went to the police station and had Mr. Na released. Thank God he was arrested and charged, but I believe it was his girlfriend or there was some type of interference. And now here we are again with Marco Vidal going into an establishment that may have recorded the execution of the Ramnareis brothers and Mrs. Bilal Ramnareis. And I don't hear anything from the Minister of Police, who was the most loud and boisterous when he was sitting on the other side.
Also spoke about the need for citizen security in the wake of Saturday's incident, in that context of what appears to be a growing apprehension towards members of law enforcement.
I call on the Minister of Police to detain the former Deputy Commissioner and find out why he was going into this establishment and investigate. And if there can be any evidence of wrongdoing, of witness intimidation, then arrest him. We have to send a message to the country, to the rank and file, that those days are over. Bad actors within the department, within government, will no longer be tolerated. I am here for it. Wherever it leads, citizens of this country should not live in fear of law enforcement. It is enough that we have a crime problem, but if the law enforcement are the no criminals, brazen, because, and that is one of the reasons I had been bringing up his name, that is one of the reasons the opposition call for witness protection. Because we are afraid, I am afraid of the powers that these people think they have. And I am concerned that the Minister of Police doesn't have the stomach to do what it is he said he would do, because this is not for the faint heart. Kareem Musa is the minister. So, Mr. Minister, what are you going to do about this situation, which many people anticipated? It was reported that the reason the Ramnareys were executed is because they were witnesses in the Michael Williams execution. I still haven't gotten a charge for Michael Williams. We need action.
The Belize Progressive Party has issued a release expressing its condolences to the families of John, Vivian, and David Ramnareys. In its release, the BPP called for a full investigation into the triple homicide. The statement goes on to say that more resources are needed for the implementation of tighter gun control and licensing requirements. BPP noted that there is also a need for greater transparency within law enforcement agencies, adding that individuals who obstruct justice must be held accountable. We spoke with Will Mejia, the leader of the Belize Progressive Party.
First of all, I'd like to express the BPP's condolences to the entire family. And, what prompted us to do this is just that our country, we are losing valuable people. Any life that is lost in our country is a valuable life, somebody that could contribute. But here we had promising young Belizeans who were not just sitting around, but they were making meaningful contributions to this country. The fisheries officer and the conservation officer. And, we are sad. We are very sad because I don't think that we had to go through this if due diligence was done when the police are recruiting their people, if they hold people accountable. These are crimes. Crimes have been committed that should have been found out years ago, and it's still being committed today. So, we join the rest of the nation in mourning the loss of these great Belizeans who have, like I said, contributed a lot to Belize. But the people in the know, and I believe the government, the police department, should seek professional advice on what is the best way to go about to bring these criminals to justice. I also would like to call on the minister to really have a complete audit of our police department. There are lots of people in there that should not be there, and we need to do an audit to phase those people out, because we cannot continue to lose young Belizeans the way we are losing them today.
The 2001 Belize Comprehensive School alumni is inviting former schoolmates, friends, co-workers, and associates of John, Vivian, and David Ramnareys to a vigil on Thursday at the Belmopan Comprehensive School. Those in attendance will be given an opportunity to share fond memories of the deceased. There will also be an opportunity to make financial pledges that will go towards the 5-year-old daughter of Vivian and John Ramnareys. The event will run from 6 to 10 p.m. on Tuesday. A relative of Vivian Ramnareys spoke about what the community's support has meant to the family during these trying times.
We come from a big family and a loving, God-fearing family. The matriarch and patriarch of a family was, ensure that everyone had a strong Christian upbringing. So that has certainly helped to bind us together in this time and to put our trust in God. But I must also say that the public has really been reaching out. The Belmopan, populace, the entire country of Belize. Vivian and John had traveled many places and have a strong support even internationally, and so we've been receiving a lot of calls, a lot of well wishes, and it has the outpouring of support has been tremendous, and so that has really helped us to cope, and especially the fact that we know our faith, our hope, our trust is in God, and that He is looking out for us, and He is keeping us, and He will strengthen us and bring us through this time.
Persons attending are encouraged to take along food and non-alcoholic drinks. One man has been charged in connection with a fire in Santa Teresa Village, Toledo District. On the 14th of January, police arrested and charged Miguel Bo for setting his relative's house on fire. Reports are that Francisco Bo was inside his house with his children when a fire broke. They escaped with injury, but police believe that they gathered enough evidence to charge Miguel for the crime of arson. ASP Fitzroy Yearwood explains.
These persons were officially charged after advice from the DPP office. Miguel Bo, for the 2 years, was charged for the crime of arson. And this stemmed from a report from Francisco Bo, a 44-year-old farmer, where he's alleging that he was asleep with his 2 sons in their residence, and they began shouting that the house was on fire. He is saying that when he got up, the east portion of the attached house was completely engulfed in flame now. The value of that house, that thatch is 12,000 Belize dollars. We detained Miguel Bo, and like I said, he has since been charged.
After the break, consultation to modernize the medico-legal death investigation. We'll tell you about that. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Today we're here shopping at B-Mart. Today we're making the green super smoothie. Let's get after it.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to Diginet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, our national telecom.
The Belize Bank announced today that it has entered into an agreement with American Express to process American Express card transactions within its merchant network. The agreement took effect on January 13th. The Belize Bank prides itself as the premier financial institution in Belize and the most robust merchant acquiring service in the country, providing point of sale for all major card brands. The bank states that this new collaboration promises significant contributions to the Belizean economy through tourism, based on the fact that the majority of Belize's visitors, 76.8% to be exact, hail from the United States by Belize Tourism Board figures. The bank says that clients prefer to use their American Express card because of the benefits it offers. Going by Belize Bank statistics, the majority of American Express cardholders use their cards at the point-of-sale terminals at hotels, restaurants, and tour companies, particularly in San Pedro, Keycocker, San Ignacio, Hopkins, and Placencia. The Belize Bank states in its release, quote, "With this strategy, Belize Bank merchants will accept all American Express credit cards as they accept other brands using the same POS terminal. Belize Bank will be able to develop secure and efficient payment solutions to help merchants adapt to their customers' needs and payment methods," unquote. The Belize Bank's Chief Operating Officer, Agatha Rutha, has said that the new initiative will not only benefit visiting tourists, but also Belizean merchants, as its main objective of direct integration was to lower the cost of processing in Belize and provide robust, reliable, modern financial services. Meanwhile, Mario Luna, the Regional Vice President in Latin America and the Caribbean for the Global Network Partnerships at American Express, has invited local businesses to latch on to the new partnership and what it offers, saying that it builds a bridge between their customers and local businesses. The service, he says, can benefit and grow by having access to a group of higher spending customers and improve their payment experience. Today, stakeholders in medico-legal death investigations, including the police, the judiciary, health, and others gathered at the Biltmore Plaza in Belize City for the second phase of the three-part process of updating the Coroner's Act as it currently exists on the books. And so consultations are ongoing for the legal reformation of this process. Back in the early 2000s, the National Forensic Science Service was created, but the Coroner's Act was never updated to include the role that the department plays in the new system of medico-legal death investigations. We learn more about modernizing the death investigation system project.
It is crafted to reform the medical legal death investigation and its legal framework within Belize. At our first consultation workshop held in October 2022, we explored several instances where our current MLDI system can be improved. One area of moment was directed at the legislation that stipulates how a sudden, unexpected, suspicious, accidental, or violent death is reported, together with the ensuing investigation by the relevant authorities. Today, we intend to discuss the follow-up report which was prepared by our consulting team, and to look at the several recommendations contained within that report. This will lead us, as of course, to weigh the merits and feasibility of those recommendations. This undertaking is a necessary step towards reforming the MLDI system in Belize, to modernize its legal and regulatory framework, which will ultimately lead to improving the conduct, integrity, utility of medical death investigations.
This project, funded by, like I said, that NGO called Vital Strategies based in the USA. It's steered by a local committee consisting of forensics, police, and Ministry of Health. So the three agencies that are steering this project along are the ones that really are involved in custody of bodies, in investigation of deaths, in issuing post-mortem examinations.
The first phase of the process, which occurred back in 2022, looked at a gap analysis and needs assessment on the strengths and weaknesses of Belize's death investigation system. It is being carried out by a consulting team consisting of a local attorney and international attorneys from a firm in the Philippines. The third step, which will take place in March of this year, is the drafting of legislation to look at strengthening specifically the Coroner's Act that stipulates how deaths are investigated by the police department. Director of the National Forensic Science Service, Jian Cho, shares some of the findings of the medical legal death investigation system, which is separate from clinical cases.
The Coroner's Act, that was last amended maybe a couple decades ago, but it was built on a coroner's system. Coroner meaning from the crown. So this is from most former colonial systems still have a coroner system, those that have not moved to update their death investigation system. So that is the main one, just updating it, bringing it up to 2022 realities. We have under the NFSS a medical examiner's office. And so those are the two of the main types of systems that exist across the world. Some systems are still strictly coroner's based, where it's a judicial officer that oversees death investigations, issues the warrants for a post-mortem, a burial warrant, etc. And other systems where it's a medical professional, typically a chief medical examiner, as they have in other countries, an office of a chief medical examiner. In Belize, currently we have sort of a hybrid of the two of them in practice, but on the books, on paper, on the laws, it's still a coroner's system. So we need to update the legislation to reflect what the practice is, where our medical examiners of the NFSS, supported or working in tandem with the police investigators, are actually the ones that go and find the reportable deaths, gather the information, conduct the post-mortem examination, issue the death certificate, the cause and manner of death. And then the police or the investigators, along with the prosecution now, are the ones that usually take criminal charges.
What are some of the challenges or shortcomings that come as a result of using this outdated system?
Okay, well, coordination, interagency coordination is one of the main challenges because it's, like I said, the coroner system didn't take into the fact that, or the Coroners Act, if you look at it, there's no mention of National Forensic Science Service. The NFSS Act was passed in about 2004, 2005. So the Coroners Act wasn't really updated with the arrival or the oncoming of the NFSS. So we do need to write into the laws that there's interagency coordination, stipulate how that coordination should occur, and making sure that if a step is missed, we have on paper the repercussions. If a certain procedure was not carried out, or if a certain order wasn't issued to bury a body, for instance, we do need to make sure that the laws are enforceable.
On January 13th, attorneys for Brad's Gaming Group Limited responded to a letter written by the Lotteries Committee in which several concerns regarding non-compliance with an existing contract were raised. Those concerns also included the late submission of audited financial statements. Referring to a particular clause in the contract, the rejoinder from Barrow & Williams on behalf of Kim Chi states that the late submissions were in no way caused by Brad's Gaming. An independent auditor that was approved by the Lotteries Committee did not complete the assessment in a timely manner, and since it was beyond the BGGL's control, the late submissions cannot constitute a failure for which the company is responsible. When we return, highest numbers in autopsies recorded in 2022.
If you or someone you know is experiencing family violence, call 0800-WAY-OUT, or you can text or WhatsApp to 672-9628.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Every year, Belize loses thousands of acres of forest to wildfires. These fires threaten human livelihoods and property, destroy forest products, and endanger wildlife. Large amounts of smoke produced by wildfires can have serious impacts on our immune system and our respiratory and heart health. However, fires that are well planned and controlled can be beneficial to ecosystems and agriculture, while protecting human health and property by reducing the buildup of high-risk fuels, such as tall, dry grass and dead trees. Ultimately, this can reduce the risk of wildfires. If you engage in the use of fire, please do so responsibly. You should always have a plan and a backup plan to avoid starting a wildfire. This includes monitoring weather patterns to avoid burning on very hot, dry, and/or windy days. Be a good neighbor. by informing persons in your community that you are planning to burn. Have the right tools, enough water and manpower to control the fire. Also, never leave a fire unattended. Always ensure that you put it out properly. Fire management training in the central Belize area is available through your local NGO network. Contact the Belize Zoo at 613-4966 or education@belizezoo.org for more information. Do your part to protect life, health, and our natural resources.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
News 5 has received the data on autopsies conducted for 2022 by the National Forensic Science Service. According to the data, there were autopsies done for 123 homicides, 88 gunshot injuries, 97 fatalities, 30 drownings, 37 suicides, and 238 natural deaths. NFSS Director Gian Cho says that 2022 recorded the highest number of autopsies.
Last year, we did the most number of autopsies that we ever did in a year, over 600. I think it's almost 610. It shows that more deaths are being reported to undergo a thorough investigation. And roughly for the total number of deaths for the year that undergo a medical legal post-mortem examination is about a quarter, about 25%, which is comparable to other countries like Australia and some of the other countries that advanced death investigation system. So in terms of statistics, the number of deaths that we capture as medical legal deaths versus the deaths that are clinical and that the hospital or a private physician would write the death certificate, we are doing fairly well, or pretty well in terms of the percentage. But yes, the majority of those over 600 postmortems that we did were natural deaths, and that's what we see every year, natural deaths. People die suddenly, heart attack, stroke, some underlying undiagnosed condition.
Dr. Jillian Conte, a Fulbright specialist, is concluding a visit to Belize, where she is designing an updated population genetic study for the National Forensic Science Service. This will look at the common genetic markers in the population to help with the reporting of DNA work in country. The NFSS director says that it is the first step to doing DNA testing in country.
It's one of those seeds that we're planting that we won't see bear right away, but we need to plant it someday if we want to be able to take on DNA analysis at the NFSS someday.
Could you put into perspective the significance of her being here and actually laying the foundation? I mean, from what I understand, it's really expensive for us to send out the DNA samples to get tested in an accredited lab in the U.S.?
Yes, so eventually when we have DNA analysis done at the NFSS, we'll be able to not only reduce the turnaround time for DNA results, but also do more DNA tests for police investigations, or at the very least just to identify an unidentified set of human remains. So it's extremely important in terms of being able to provide more efficient and more timely forensic science service to our stakeholders, which not only includes the justice system, but the people at Belize. Like I said, some of these DNA tests are not criminal cases. It's just to identify a loved one that was found in, for instance, an advanced state of decomposition. You know.
At this time, turnaround time for DNA testing has been reduced from 6 months to about 2 to 3 months. Results for cases sent by the National Forensic Science Service generally returns in 6 weeks. Cho says that it is now about minimizing the delay from the time the police submits the item to lab to when it is shipped overseas. The Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, held its 2023 annual news conference today under the theme Creating the Best Future for the Caribbean. As a borrowing member state of CDB, data on Belize's economic performance and development goals are captured within the bank's Regional Progress Report. In his address, Dr. Hyginus Leon, the president of the CDB, spoke on the drivers behind regional transformation and the investments needed to advance such change. These include greater access to finance, regional cooperation and integration, transportation, and food security. President Leon emphasized the need for regional food sovereignty as a way to eliminate the negative impacts caused by external shocks, like the increased cost of shipping.
Recent global data from the United Nations indicates that the cost of a healthy diet is highest in Latin America and the Caribbean, with the Caribbean currently importing more than 80% of the food we consume. Food sovereignty must be a key collective objective. The major challenges facing the region's agricultural sector include low productivity, inconsistent output, high vulnerability to natural hazards, and the impacts of climate change. The result, as I'm sure you're all aware of, is low competitiveness, limited ability to respond to regional and international market demands, and heavy dependence on imports to meet food and nutrition needs. Therefore, to address this, we recommend 1, investing in air and marine transport infrastructure and services to facilitate improved intra-regional trade and integration into global food markets. 2, designing and supporting the implementation of internationally recognized food safety standards to strengthen market linkages. And 3, increasing investment in appropriate and location-specific climate-smart agriculture processes and promoting agricultural insurance to reduce risks posed by climate change and natural hazard events.
Up next, roaming jaguars on Boom and Hattieville Road killing out people's livestock.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was the size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. No? The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days. And after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and they have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. You will take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma en tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal! What a goal from Leo
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Liberty Children's Home has been around since 2004, providing residential services to children who have been abandoned, neglected, and abused, among other reasons. Built to shelter 30, the institution is currently home to twice that number, and thus the needs have been mounting, but the assistance it's received dwindling. The global inflation has not helped the children's home, which does receive 1/3 of its monthly expenditures from the Ministry of Human Development. The rest is left up to the management of the home to provide. And as News 5's Marian Ali found out today, meeting the growing demands have been a tall order while trying to provide the best possible care to the children it serves.
These rooms at this facility have provided a home to some of Belize's most unfortunate children. Unfortunate because of their history and what sent them here. But the directors of Liberty Children's Home are in need of help if they are to continue caring for them.
I have to say that it has been difficult. We have to fundraise. We do have one of our directors because I report to a board of directors, and so there is one specific director in the US that does fundraisers for us, which of course she's beginning to find very challenging with this global economic recession that's happening. Besides that, we have to see what we can do on the ground, if we can get people to buy in, so every little bit counts.
Some program areas, such as in-house counseling, have had to be discontinued for the meantime, Agatha Valentine says, and the children now rely on the therapy that the Department of Human Services provides. The children are taken to Liberty by personnel from the department, and the Ministry of Human Development provides a monthly grant that covers 25% of the expenses. The children's home then provides the food and daily care for the children until they can reunite with their families or are otherwise taken care of by other families.
Whatever a child may need, whatever a child requires, medical, psychological, educational, social needs, everything that a child may require, we provide it for that child at Liberty.
Each child has their own individual needs, and that too is sorted out by the institution and provided on that level. But while Liberty has a structure in place, one thing that all the children are afforded is the freedom to make certain decisions.
We literally keep the gates open because we want it to feel more home-like as opposed to an institution and have everybody locked up. Our children get to do more socially in the sense that they get to go in the community and interact. If you're too insulated as a child, then sometimes it takes away from your decision-making skills. And so as a foster mother, because technically that is what I am, I do more and I allow my children to do more. So I give them the opportunity to make decisions. Based on how they make their decisions, they get more opportunities or the privileges are taken away from them as well.
Because the population at the home keeps growing, the children's home has had to run a daycare and a preschool facility that cater to children who live outside of its premises in order to help allay the expenses it incurs within. It offers those services at significantly reduced fees than what others in the business charge. But the institution is also turning to you for help.
We always are in need, always in need. Food is one of the big things. You go to the grocery store on a daily basis and you see the cost of the basic items, you know, going up. So food is one of the big things. If anybody can assist in those regards. I know people find it easier to give tangible things, things that they know the children will directly benefit from. So whatever you can contribute, clothing is always needed. Medical items, we do a lot of self-help, like flu, cold, cough type things, Tylenol. Every child loves snacks, so please don't forget the snacks, vegetables, fruits. So those are things that can help in contributing to a balanced diet for the children.
But while the children are being cared for at the facility, there's no care like that provided by a family unit. And that is the ultimate hope for every child. It is also one that Liberty's management has for their children.
So if there's any family out there that can do any fostering, even if it's short term, what we refer to as respite for the weekend, holiday period, to get more involved. I don't believe the process is as extensive, so you can go to the Department of Human Services to see what the requirements are.
And the behavior should not be a concern, Valentine says.
A lot of people at times stigmatize and think that the children are wayward behavioral-wise. That isn't true. As an institution, we do work very hard on changing behaviors and teaching our children right from wrong.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Two Belize City high schools will be representing the country over the weekend in the Caribbean Science Foundation's CSF inaugural Caribbean STEM Olympiads. CSF organized the competition to help in raising the standards of STEM education in the region. The organization hopes to stimulate a greater interest in STEM among students, parents, teachers, and the public through its STEM Olympiads. The competition categories are Math Olympiads, Computer Coding Games, and Robotics Showcases. Orlando Medina, the representative for the Caribbean Science Foundation in Belize, stopped by our office today to tell us more.
The organization, the Caribbean Science Foundation, has been around for, I think, for the past decade or so. The founder of the organization is a gentleman by the name of Professor Cardinal Ward from MIT. He started this with the mere goal of trying to promote science education or STEM education in the Caribbean, trying to get our students focused and excited and encouraged to be involved with that sort of education, since it's the area that he feels, and many of us who are proponents of this sort of approach to education, it will solve the solutions that we have, a lot of the global solutions that we have. This competition, there was late last year, this competition came around. We opened it to registration from schools. It could have been even personal. If you're an individual who is interested in science, you could have registered as an individual. It was open to different levels. We have grade levels for students are 12 to 14, 15 to 17, and then 18 to 21. No? So there's 3 different grade levels. What we have representation from the high school level, which Belize High School and St. Catherine's Academy have teams that were representing Belize. We're competing against the other Caribbean countries, the English-speaking Caribbean countries, Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana. The competition is divided into 3 categories. We have the Math Olympiad, which starts on Friday. It will be a Jeopardy-style competition where students are going to compete based on the different levels depending on the type of question that they choose. And it's again open to the 3 different levels, but from what we have representation from the high school. No? So the various areas of mathematics, algebra, trigonometry, and pre-calculus, those areas. And then the other level, we have a coding competition which follows. And so they have a coding competition where students will be asked to design apps and those technological solutions to issues that we have like climate change, food resources, energy resources and stuff like that, scientific phenomena that we need to solve. No? And then the last section is with robotics.
News 5 was called out to a residence on the Boom Hattieville Road today, where a distraught pet owner told us that in the pre-dawn hours of Tuesday, she heard a jaguar attack one of their sheep and looked out in time to see the predator run off after it had killed the sheep. Reina Garcia said she is distraught because the attack has left her now with 2 suckling calves to bottle feed. But she is also concerned for the safety of her young children.
I'm afraid concern me dog them and my picnic. I have babies, then keep around. And it happens like 6 months ago, they carried my dog, and in November, he carried my sheep. And yesterday morning, he carried my sheep, and he left 2 babies, and I have to feed them with Baba. And when I hear the noise that he catch my sheep, I open the window, and he run. So we need help concerning this jaguar because it frighten a lot of people by Bacab areas and like that. Just bite his neck and he left. He can't carry it because I come out the same time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So now you've taken measures, you said, to protect or to try and protect your animals, but still to no avail.
Yes, still I can't do nothing because concerned what he's coming way on the front of the house. So we have to afraid about the picnic them, you see. So we have to be careful about them because I have one legal who 7 years old, and my nephew sometimes then come here, and I'm afraid for them too, you see. So we need a lot of help. It's hard for we that we can walk all around now, concerned that we're afraid that they could be back there too, you see. And this happened for 30 in the morning, so that means that he could come in at the day.
We reached out to the Forest Department, which had just gotten notice of the incident and which informed us that they will deploy a team of field officers to the location on Thursday to assess the situation and conduct interviews, after which they will decide what steps they will take to remedy the problem. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.